I couldn't close out a look at the Old Testament in this series without a few comments on the treatment afforded to those in servitude relationships. But unlike some apologists, I won't be saying much about that issue. Let me explain why. When it comes to the treatment of those in servitude in the Old Testament, some Christian apologists have taken tactical turns that I don't consider particularly productive. One of these tactics is to compare Old Testament texts to contemporary pagan law codes, and say, look how much better and more moral the Old Testament is. Without disparaging such efforts, I have to say that they have a certain weakness inherent in them. It has to do with a quote I once noted from a book called Covenant, The History of a Biblical Idea. What this means in practical terms is that we may be comparing apples to oranges when we compare the Old Testament to, say, the Law of Hammurabi. Exodus 21, 1-6 says that those in servitude may be kept for 6 years, but must be released in the 7th year. The Law of Hammurabi lays out a term of 3 years, with release in the 4th year. Critics working under our assumption of improvement will easily say that it's better to offer a term of 3 years rather than 6. But based on what Hiller says, no one was consulting the Law of Hammurabi when they wanted to know how long they were allowed to keep their servants indentured. It's not like that code, or Exodus and Deuteronomy for that matter, was kept on a shelf and pulled down whenever a legal question arose. The main purpose, rather, was exemplary and didactic. Neither of the passages in question was meant to provide an absolute statement of the term of a servant which brooked no exceptions. In all likelihood, the terms of service varied according to the debt owed. For that reason, I prefer not to use a comparative approach like that one. The laws simply don't tell the whole story. I said there were 2 tactical turns. The second one relates to a chief objection concerning the use of corporal punishment, as exemplified by Exodus 21:20. I won't discuss this too much because the matter of corporal punishment isn't a unique function of servitude relationships in the biblical world. Even students who were the children of wealthy parents could find themselves subject to beatings by their teachers. Some critics render particularly harsh judgments on this because they think it allows masters to beat slaves up to a certain point and then stop. But I have to ask how a person can become knowledgeable enough to gauge that they have beaten a person to just the right condition, where they will get up after a day or so without dying. But, as credible scholars tell us, the purpose of this law is rather different. I'll deal with one more commonly objected to passage before leaving the Old Testament behind. Then we'll be on to the New Testament. See you next time.